we're all going to be paying a lot more for our water in the next 5 years than even was predicted. In the last half an hour, the water regulator, Ofwat, has confirmed that bills in England and Wales are going to go up by an average of 36% over the next 5 years. The prediction was 21%, so that's way more than that.
Well, at the moment, the average bill for a year across the UK is £440, but with the figures released today, that will increase to £597 by 2030.
Customers of Thames Water, which, of course, is the country's biggest water and wastewater company, have an average bill of £436 a year, but Ofwat has now ruled that those can go up to about £588. That's an increase of 35%.
While Southern Water bills are currently £420, and the regulators ruled that they can raise them to £642 by 2030, a rise of 53%. Well, in just a moment, we'll be speaking to the singer and clean water campaigner Fergal Sharkey here in the studio to get his reaction. But first, we can go to Ofwat's Price Review Senior Director Chris Walters, who joins us from Westminster. Good morning to you. This is going to be bad news, isn't it, for consumers? Higher than expected increases. On average, people will be paying £31 a year more over the next 5 years for what seems to be a failing system. How is this justifiable?
The bills do need to rise to fund record levels of investment, £104 billion, the biggest 5-year investment in water and wastewater since privatisation, and that's needed to safeguard the health of our rivers, our seas and our waterways, to secure the resilience of our water supplies, and to get companies to really raise their game on their day-to-day performance in areas that matter to customers and to the environment. Now, I know that bill increases are a concern for many. Part of my job is to engage directly with customers and their representatives, and I've heard those concerns and that anger firsthand, and I understand that. That's why in today's announcements, we're also including more support for customers than ever before to try and address those concerns.
OK, well, but, you know, there's a cost of living crisis at the moment. It's a difficult enough time for people as it is without these bills going up. And I think, you know, quite rightly, we're getting a lot of people getting in touch today who are saying, well, hold on a second, the water companies are supposed to be investing over the years. What about all that money that's been paid by people into the water companies? That's gone on shareholders, it's gone on profits, it's gone on bonuses, it's gone on pay rises. You, as the regulator, are supposed to be overseeing that, aren't you?
I understand public concern and anger over bill increases, and they are needed to fund record levels of investment. But there are things that we're doing in the price review to protect customers. We have scrutinised companies' business proposals and pared them back so customers don't pay more than is necessary for this vital investment. We are also ring-fencing customers' money for investment.
OK, well, how are you protecting customers? Take a look at the Southern Water figures, for example. Their bills will be going up by 53%. At the moment, thousands of them haven't got any water.
Before I answer that question, I'll just address the incident that you're talking about. We are aware of the incident with Southern Water's Testwood water treatment works. It's Southern Water's responsibility to engage with and support its customers. It is a serious incident, and the response to the incident is being coordinated by the government, by DEFRA. As the economic regulator, we don't have a direct role in the response, but Southern Water will be required to report to us afterwards, and we will see what, if any, further action is needed. On the main part of your question, Southern Water requested a bill increase of 83%. We have pared that back to 53%. I appreciate it's still a significant bill increase, but it is needed to fund record levels of investment. Across England and Wales, we are doubling the financial support available to customers in need of a helping hand, from 4% of customers to 9% of customers. That will mean an extra 1.5 million people get lower bills because they need them. There are also other things that we're doing to protect customers. The government announced on Tuesday a doubling of the compensation that customers will receive if they receive poor service from their water companies. We ourselves announced in September our intention to revamp the support that companies provide to the most vulnerable customers through what's called the Priority Services Register.
Mr. Walters, can I just cut in?
Of course.
Look, I appreciate that your job this morning is to dance on the head of a pin. And I notice that you speak consistently about the present and the future. You simply, as head of Ofwat, will not address what you guys let happen in the past. And what you did was to supervise an industry and allow it year after year after year after year to pay fat cat bosses, and I think that's a reasonable use of that expression, huge bonuses, large dividends to the shareholders, and you allowed them to asset strip. So we are where we are now. And the people paying the price for that, it's not you out of your salary or your job security, it's the people watching this programme who, in the case of Southern Water, are going to see their water rates double by over 50% because of this total screw-up of administration. And I put it to you, looking at where we are now, that Ofwat is actually trying to regulate a write-off. That the system that we have in this country for providing water, keeping the rivers clean, keeping the oceans clean, is terminally broken. It's a crashed car and it can't be fixed. And we need a completely new system. And there's nothing you can do to fix it now. It's too far gone.
Let me address that as directly as I can. Our job is to scrutinise proposals that are made to us, to ensure that they are fair value for money, and then to hold companies to account for those proposals. Government and environmental regulators are holding companies to higher standards, rightly so, rightly so. Companies propose investment to us to meet those higher standards.
You won't address the past, will you? You simply won't address the past. The past is important because we're here where we are now because of the failures of the past. And you haven't said one word to acknowledge Ofwat's failure, total failure, to regulate the water industry, to stop these companies ripping off the public. You won't talk about the past. I invite you to one more time. Will you address the failures of the past?
I absolutely will. Our job has been, in the past, to scrutinise the proposals put to us.
And you failed.
And that is what we have done. We have done our job.
Then why are we in the position we're in? Then why are we in the position where we are so short of investment that these kinds of price rises have to be brought in? You aren't addressing the failures of the past. You're pretending they didn't happen.
I'm not pretending they didn't happen. I am saying we have addressed the proposals that were put to us. Your question is, was there enough in those proposals? I accept collectively, environmental regulators, economic regulators, government, the sector itself has not done enough in the past to invest. But that is why today's announcements of record levels of investment is so important.
All right, not done enough is an interesting euphemism for complete failure in many people's minds. What do you make of this, Fergal?
As much as today was Judgment Day for the water industry, it was Judgment Day for the regulator. It's failed. It's a complete and utter shambles. Now, let me remind Ofwat, just 2 days ago, the Office of Environmental Protection ruled that their job was to enforce environmental law as much as the environment agencies. So to now kind of scapegoat by going, oh, we only do the economics. And let me remind everyone, Ofwat now admits it. Water companies have a legal obligation to build and maintain properly functioning sewage system, and for 35 years we've paid them every penny they needed to meet that obligation, something the water companies confirm and certify annually to Ofwat. They know what the law requires, they've had the money, and we've discussed this before. Where's the money gone?
So what's the way out of this, then, in the situation that we are now? Because the water companies are saying, well, hold on, we need more money to be able to invest in it.
I think we're now going to have a serious look at the whole basic structure of this industry. I think we're going to have to remove the profit motive from it. They've made off with £82 billion worth of our money.
So the bottom line is it's going to cost an awful lot more money to sort it out.
Huge more money. So the simple truth is they can't be trusted with this. I think the regulatory system needs a complete overhaul. And I think government today is actually going to have to now just step up to the plate. We need to completely, at best, move these into some kind of a mutual, if not renationalise the industry. And Ofwat and the Environment Agency need to go.
I don't think we've had you in this position before where you've been on the show at the same time as the most senior member of Ofwat. Would you like to speak to Mr Walters yourself? Apparently I'm not allowed to do that for legal reasons. I thought it was a good idea, but we'll
if he chooses at any point in time, I'd be happy to come back on this programme and discuss this head-to-head with him at a time and place of his choosing and your willingness. I'd be delighted to have that opportunity. Okay. The simple truth is Ofwat and the boards of Ofwat and the EA have known for decades what they've been doing is wrong. They were told 2 days ago by the Office of Environmental Protection they've been acting illegally. And I know we've discussed this before. Today, the chair of Ofwat and the EA should resign if there was any honour in the world at all, and we should now launch an investigation and actually summon the boards of Ofwat and the EA for misconduct in public office. In my opinion, it's their stupidity, their arrogance and their behaviour has now saddled us with billions of pounds and tens of billions of pounds worth of investment we shouldn't have to make.
Mr Walters, can you possibly issue any kind of guarantee to the public this morning that this is the last time this is going to happen? That we're not going to be sitting here 5 years from now and say, well, yeah, we don't know quite where this extra money's gone, but we're going to have to do this again.
What I can say is that our announcements today include controls that ring-fence customers' money for investment. So it can't be used for other things. It can't be used for unwarranted dividends. It can't be used for unwarranted executive bonuses. If the money is not used for investment or the benefits of that investment are not realised, it will be automatically clawed back and returned to customers in the form of lower bills.
How would you claw it back?
It's automatic through our regulatory regime.
OK. Mr Walters, thank you for your time this morning.
Perhaps we should claw back the £82 billion they've paid themselves in dividends.
Well, there's an interesting proposal. I don't think that's going to fly.
Thank you to you, Virgil, as always, for joining us here.
Thank you once again for the time.
Also to Ofwat's Price Review Senior Director, Chris Walters, as well, who joined us.